While most Oakland residents drive by and don't think twice about what's going on here, the people in this neighborhood do. People like 20-year-old Frank Pardo, whose mom owns Yoyi's bridal shop. Pardo grew up here.
They've been here for all of these years. What makes you think they're going anywhere? Police see them. I mean, everybody sees them. Nobody does anything.
Just on the street, there's a teenage girl in a short red dress crying on a bench. She's bleeding from her mouth. A business owner who runs a clothing store says he saw the whole thing.
One of them punched her right in her face, and so she went down, and then they went after her purse.
He says the man who punched the girl appeared to be her pimp. The store owner would not identify himself by name for fear of retribution from sex traffickers. At 15 years old, Brittany and Darlene were out on Oakland's track. They were also marketed on Craigslist before the adult services section was shut down and on other internet sites.
So make that money, bitch. Sell it to the world and let's get rich. Yeah, or I could put you on Craigslist.
Brittany says her pimp got her hooked on drugs to keep her working around the clock. Usually, she ate only one meal a day.
And that was like from Burger King or McDonald's, so that doesn't really even count.
It's not the best deal to have sex with 15 different guys in one day and only get a cheeseburger at the end of it.
Alameda County Assistant District Attorney Charmaine Bach compares the girl's situation to being brainwashed by a cult.
Remember Guyana and Jim Jones where everyone's drinking that Kool-Aid drink? Well, that's exactly what these girls have had. Let's call it pimp juice. They've all had it, and they can't see past either their affection for him or their fear for their trafficker.
According to a recent survey by the FBI, 61% of teen prostitutes were raped as children. That's what happened to Brittany. She says she was raped by her stepfather and years later by her trafficker.
I went back to all those times just for the simple fact that I knew what he was capable of. He'd beat me and he'd rape me. He'd beat me and he'd rape me. And I just kept going back up until I ended up being pregnant by him. And he beat me so bad that I ended up having a miscarriage.
Finally, Brittany and Darlene had had enough. Darlene.
I got shot at quite a few times, and it's crazy. You're going to be in jail or you're going to be dead. I don't want part of either one of those.
Darlene says eventually she got tired of being arrested and wanted to go home. After her last arrest, she joined a program that transitions girls off the streets. Brittany got out too, shortly after she had the miscarriage.
6 days later, it was a Sunday, and he put me on East 14th. I told him that I didn't want to be out on Sundays because I had a bad feeling about Sundays. And I seen my aunt. And my aunt ended up snatching me up and putting me in the car. And then she took me to my mom's house. 2 days later, I believe, police came knocking on my door saying I had a warrant.
That warrant put Brittany back in jail for prostitution. And like Darlene, she enrolled in a community program.
Since then, I graduated high school and I'm starting college. Before, when I was like 15, I didn't see myself alive at the age of 18. And now that I am 18 and I can look back and say, I've been through all of that and I've came out of it, it feels wonderful.
It's been about a year since Brittany and Darlene turned their lives around. It's still a work in progress.
I haven't worn heels at all except if it was to prom.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't worn heels to my cousin's wedding. I wore flats, my mom's funeral. I'm scared to wear heels again. I don't dress up at all because I'm like, man, if I go get dressed up, maybe somebody's going to think I'm a hoe and stuff.
Right. I still feel that way when I'm wearing heels. I'm like, gosh, I hope I don't have that walk that I used to have when I wear heels. But then again, it's the whole healing process, because you yourself and I myself are still healing off of it. And I'm sure you'll feel good when you dress up because you'll know that that's not you anymore. And that's how I felt when I wore heels on my 18th birthday. I felt empowered in a way because I'm like, wow, I'm not wearing heels because somebody's telling me to. I'm wearing them because I want to.
Both Darlene and Brittany are now working with community organizations to help other girls escape sex trafficking. They consider themselves survivors, navigating a new life. For NPR News, I'm Denise Tejada.
Our story, Trafficked, was produced by Youth Radio. Tomorrow, we'll hear how authorities are struggling to put a stop to child prostitution.
You're listening to All Things Considered from NPR News.